and they're all going to be in.
I'm so sorry, my cat just, can you? Oh my God. Portugal's RTP has announced that it will not attend Eurovision 2016 in Stockholm. Yes, this marks the third straight time the Portuguese have said no to the contest when Sweden is hosting. You guys, what do you think explains their withdrawal? Is it all about money, or is there something else going on?
Maybe it could be about the money. They've gone to Austria, they've gone to Norway, they've gone to Finland. So I really don't get why it's especially Sweden that they are snubbing the Eurovision. So maybe RTP has something wrong with SVT. They don't. It's like SVT is always. Especially with Björkman, they are always like ruling the Eurovision, so I think maybe Portugal is opposing to that or something. I really don't know.
If it was purely down to money, you'd say why didn't they withdraw years ago, because their figures have been going down. And it's very coincidental that every time Sweden hosts, Portugal says no thanks. Because they said last time that it was something they wanted to modernise Festival de Cacau. And it came back and was the exact same format as before with no changes, and they sent just as dated entries as ever before. Yeah, because their press release didn't say much. And then they were saying that they'll be back in 2017. So if they've money troubles, how can they say so easily that they'll be back in 2017?
Yes, it's very curious, and I've read on message boards that the fee to participate in Sweden is slightly higher. I don't know if that's true, but if that is, that might be a reason. But I really do think there's some kind of personal vendetta going on, because it's just way too coincidental. It's like, oh, 2000, was it 2000? 2001, Stockholm.
Yeah, 2000.
Ooh, 2000, ooh, 2013, ooh, 2016. I mean, really? But at the same time, you know, Euro fans, we are kind of dreading going back to expensive Stockholm. Vienna was surprisingly affordable. You could get a great hotel apartment. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it cost the broadcaster more. In any event, Euro fans in Portugal are angry because they think that Portugal is giving priority to sports events and to bullfights. You can read about it on wiwibloggs. They say that culture is getting the short end of the stick this year. And you know, the broadcaster does have to make choices. We need to remember that Portugal received just a few years ago a $90 billion bailout. But that said, going to Eurovision is relatively cheap compared to all these sporting events, the Olympic Games, multiple bullfights. It does seem that fans have a reason to be angry.
Well, when you look at Ireland, Greece, Cyprus, they all had bailouts at the same time as Portugal, and they're all going to be flying their flags in Stockholm. So I don't think Portugal can really blame their financial situation on that. It's something underneath within the layers of bureaucracy at RTP that we're not finding out. And I don't know if it's a vendetta against Sweden or what, because you say Sweden is expensive, but Copenhagen is just as expensive and they were there. So.
Exactly. And look at Bosnia, for instance. They can't pay the fee, but they are trying. I don't think it's not that. It's not only that they cannot afford it; it's that they decide to go for another thing. And I don't know. Maybe it's some. For instance, I think there were some rumors in 2013 when Turkey withdrew as well, that Turkey's TRT had something against SVT. So maybe it's like SVT is raising concerns against other broadcasters from all over Europe. I really don't know, but
yeah, and it's well known, I think, that Turkey's head of delegation had a spat with the European Broadcasting Union Eurovision Steering Committee because they would not give him a permanent seat on the steering committee or a high-level seat. So there's a lot of behind-the-scenes jockeying that goes on that we just aren't privy to. But fans in Portugal, we should applaud them. They are doing their best to help Portugal get out of this crunch, and a fan named Claudio Poira, something. Anyway, he's in Bournemouth, UK, he is Portuguese, and he has set up a fundraising campaign on Indiegogo.com. The crowdfunding campaign seeks to raise £200,000 to cover the expense of Portugal's participation. And let's see, this was launched several days ago, and so far they have earned a grand total of £49. and 10 of those pounds come from a wee blogger named Diego in Spain. This is not looking good, you guys. I mean, it sounds like a good idea to crowdfund, but why do you think Portuguese are not giving generously?
I think they don't expect that RTP would take it seriously. Well, in first, I don't really think that they can get the 200,000 pounds for participation. I don't really think so, but maybe it's just that fans don't see it realistic that they'll get it, and they just pass on giving money.
And I don't know if they did raise the money, would the broadcaster accept the check, because it's a public broadcaster and the ethical issues then come into that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then tax it and all that sort of stuff. So,
I mean, you know the solution, 2 words. Katia Avero, Ronaldo's sister, who said she would sing at Eurovision. You know, Ronaldo makes 200,000 pounds, like, sitting in a cologne ad, you know, for 2 hours on a Saturday afternoon. He would have covered the bill for his sister. Portugal would be back, and back with a bang, and it would show them a different, you know, an alternative to Festival de Canção, an internal selection, because they've got talent. People in Portugal can sing. Susie almost made the final. There's something there. They just need to nurture it.